hope you can hear me. Oh, state of my hair. I am trying to see if I can get onto my laptop so I can see some of the comments, because once I start sewing or chit-chatting, because I'm streaming with my phone, I can't see the comments. So let me try to figure this out. Maybe I have to just go to YouTube. Let's try that so I can see me. There I am. Okay, I can see it now, which is kind of cool. Frankie, hello, darling. How are you? I'm so glad you're here tonight. Yeah, so it's quilting tonight. I don't know if you quilt. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Anne, and this is a Tobyknits Quilty Fun special, and we're doing something new. I'm looking down because Toby is actually at my feet. Come here, Tobes. Toby doesn't like the basement, so very often does not join me down here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Ooh, this is Toby, if you didn't know. And I think he's 4, maybe 5. He's a Yorkie, and he's a good little guy. But we got him when he was I think 3 months old, I think, and it was around about that time. I had been making videos, but not specifically about anything much. Sometimes it was card making and stuff like that. But I had started to get really heavy into the knitting. So my son said, well, why don't you call it Tobyknits? So, oh, Frankie said that she doesn't quilt, but she's scared I might encourage her to. Well, yeah, yeah. I think it would be Toby's fault, actually. Don't you, Tobe? Yes. So the channel became Tobyknits, and it used to be that Toby would always introduce the videos with me at the beginning. But then, like I said, once I moved to the basement in my little room down here, not that it's very little, it's huge. Maybe that's why he doesn't like it, because it really is a big room. Who wants to see it? Let me show you guys, if I can. One moment, please. So it's a mess, so please do not worry about the mess. Okay, so this is where all my yarn is, right behind me on a shelf. Oh, there's my heater, because it does get cold down here. I have more yarn in them bins, and this is kind of the junky area. I have quilts up on my wall. I have a quilt there that I've just finished. I have quilts projects in all of these boxes. And my ironing board table. This is the Nova Scotia quilt, which I was going to try to show you, but I've got some pins in it, and it is a quilt as you go. So this is actually the back of it. And I have a TV there for when I want to watch TV, and that's got all my cross-stitch stuff in it. As you can see, my cross-stitch. This is Tristan's little area to play, my grandson, when he comes down, and we play down here. And there is my setup with my sewing machine. This is just more yarn and books. in a mess. That's a mess. And then over here is my dye station. This is where I dye my yarn. All hand dyed in my little basement here. There is all my bare yarn and all my accessories I need for it. And this is all my scrapbooking stuff. So, and then that door goes into the other basement, side of the basement, but this is my craft room. Isn't it huge? And then, of course, that goes upstairs to our house. But yeah, this is my big basement. And Toby just does not like it down here. He's, I don't know. Oh, and this is all my stash, all my yarny goodness. No, fabric goodness, not the yarny goodness. And some books. And there's one of my cross stitches that I did a long time ago. 1996 I made that. And there's my lovely mom who passed away 9 years ago. And my livable calendar, which still needs to be changed because it's no longer June. So let me flip you back. So there you go. That is my basement. And I have literally no idea why Toby doesn't want to come down here, but I think it's just because it's so big down here and it's very chilly. And I do have a bed for him underneath my feet here, underneath the table, but he won't go in it. Anyway, that's the tour of my basement. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I just decided to do it anyway. The beauty of live TV. So anyway, yes. So Friday nights will be about quilting and maybe cross stitch. And this is episode 42. It was easier for me. I might have explained this on Monday, but it was easier for me to just do a live because it automatically uploads it to YouTube for me. And it was just easier. When I record a podcast, it could take me an hour to record. It could take me 2 hours to edit it and add fancy photos and text and stuff. And it could take anywhere between 15 minutes and 2 hours to upload. And that took a big chunk of my day. And I have other things I'd rather do on my day. So I figured, let's do some lives. So Monday nights at 7 is knitting. And Friday nights at 7 is quilting. And we'll be here for maybe an hour. And most of the time we'll probably just chat because you know me, I'm a chatterbox. But I might try to do some quilting tonight. Try. So what have I worked on this week? So I have worked on that Quilt As You Go, the Nova Scotia quilt. And I have now got all 5, is there 5? 1, 2, no, 6. All 6 rows sewn together. I have got all the borders sewn together, but not quilted. So I did, yesterday or the day before, I did one border that I quilted, just a zigzag. It was nothing special. And I've attached it. So it's attached with pins. That's why I can't show it you because I don't want the pins to come out and prick me because I bleed. Who knew? Yes. And it's blue blood, by the way. Yes. Hello, Selena. How are you? Are you staying up late again, or did you get up late? I don't remember how this worked last time. Look at the state of my hair. I'm getting it cut on Monday. Oh, not this Monday, the Monday after. But it definitely needs it. The trouble with my hair is that it's wavy and curly, and I don't like it like that naturally because what you have you don't want. And when it's really short, it just goes all back by itself and it doesn't, doesn't get wavy and curly. But the longer it gets, the curlier it gets and the wavier it gets. And I feel like I look like an old woman. I know I'm 66 this year, but come on, I don't want to be that old of a woman with all this kind of fizzy, curly, wavy, rubbishy hair. So yeah, so I couldn't show you that because I didn't want to pin it. Okay, so I wish I knew how I could highlight what people say so that because I noticed that when I did that Monday, I was respond to what your question was on the live chat, but I didn't, and if you want to watch the live chat at the same time, you can't have your screen full. I think you have to have it half, like just small. And there's a button, I'm not sure, let me see if I can find it, to the side that says live chat and top chat. So if you hit live chat, like you have to hit the little V thing and you'll see top chat. If you hit that and then live chat, because I think it defaults to top chat, you'll see everybody's comments. But Selena was saying she's good and she was up late but got an early morning in. Bit cold to stay out of bed. Oh yeah, are you in Australia? I feel like you are. I feel like you are. Because it's their winter there, right? So right now, because it's our summer, it's blinking hot here. So anyway, I was back to this is going to happen because I will keep getting distracted. And yes, it's winter here. Okay, good. I will keep getting distracted and forget what I'm saying. So you might have to remind me if we get off topic. So yeah, I can't open it all up to show you, but what I wanted to do was sew on. I wonder if I should do that now. I'm gonna have to put the walking foot on anyway. Maybe I should do that now so that, no, I won't. It's too big and I have to keep getting up to the iron. But when I want to press it open, but I'll work on it next week. And then for the next week's live, I might even have it finished enough before the binding. But that's coming on. I also did, I subscribed to the Fat Quarter Shop Design a Block of the Month. Now I did last year's and it's still sitting there waiting to be quilt as you go because I was practicing on the Nova Scotia quilt first, see if I could do it. And I love it, the idea. And this one will be a lot easier because with the Nova Scotia quilt, I did 4 blocks, sewed them all together, and then put the batting in and the background and quilted them all. With this other design and mystery from last year, I'm going to quilt each block individually and then join the blocks with a different method. Stay tuned, you're going to learn a little bit about quilt as you go here. So anyway, this is this year's that just came out. I think number 2 is on the way. So this quilt is called Dahlia, and it is designed by Camille Ross Kelly. And I think, yeah, that's all there is. And then what happens is you get all this fabric that they send you, which you then have to cut out according to the instructions and put together. And so here is mine put together. And they finish at 12 by 12. Now, last year's blocks, I actually bought the finishing kit for that. And it's not complicated, really. It's not, it's not. Last year's block, I bought the finishing kit. So it came with extra fabric and a beautiful box and everything. And it is very pretty, isn't it? I love this red color. Look at that. And actually the white is the same. You can't, there, if I cover that up, you might be able to see the white has the same, but it's just, and it's very, very pretty. Well, you know what, Selena, I know you said you're not a sewer, but Frankie, who's on with us too, doesn't quilt either. So you might all be changing your minds before the end of the day. but anyway, this is the other one. It came with, you had to put extra borders all around. So the block ended up being about, I feel like it was 18 by 18. So this is going to be a smaller quilt than the other one, which is what I want. But it's, so then what I'll do is once I get background fabric for this, then I will just get some piece of batting the same size as this block, 12 by 12, the background, and then it's easy to put under the sewing machine than it is a giant quilt, believe me. So I did get this done this week, And so I need to put that somewhere now. It's not in the way. And the other thing that I've got a fly flying around. Frankie, the one I use is, I'll show it you. It is, oh, a brother. And this was actually, I got it on Amazon, and it is a quilting machine, a brother quilting. So it came with, and it has all these different, I mean, they're basic pretty much, but then these are different stitches that you can use. That's a great idea. And that's another thing I wanted to try as well. And make some, quilt together some small pieces. And it came with this table, which is removable. And then I keep all my rulers under here. But that was a good one, and I got it on Amazon. If I can remember where the link is, I'll put that in the description later after the broadcast. But I think it costs about $300. I feel like that's how much it was. There are others out there that are way more expensive. This particular one came with a ton of feet, all different feet and attachments. One of which is this one, which is the walking foot that you want for quilting. Because when you are going to quilt three layers of fabric together, one of which is batting, it's thicker and heavier going through the machine. And the machine has feed dogs that help to feed it through. But this also has feed dogs, a walking foot, which is the whole point of them. So when you're quilting, you put this on in order to do straight lines and stuff. And there's a hole in it here because there is a guide that you can put in. This funny looking thing. And that goes in the holes on the side and comes out the other side, just ever so slightly. And you put that down. So then you always line this up. You'll do one row first of your stitching, and then you line that row you've worked up with this. And this is you decide how wide you want that. Do you want it an inch? So you would bring it in to what an inch looked like on your thing here. So then you just line your stitch line up with this, and then you're stitching and you're following that first line. So you don't have to mark too much on your fabric, and it's just easier to stay straight. Not always as easy as you think, but anyway. So this is a good foot. It came also with a little 1/4 inch foot, which has the inch, the markings on the side. So depending on which side you're sewing as to where you would line it up. But this also is handy for when you're doing seams, because when you sew clothes with a 5/8 of an inch seam. When you sew fabric together for quilts, it's a 1/4 of an inch. So these are very handy, these little 1/4 of an inch feet. Now I also have to get out my screwdriver because I have to take this bottom piece off to get my walking foot on. But I will show you all that in a minute. What I am planning to do tonight, and this was last year's mystery from Fat Quarter Shop. They do one every year for Halloween, and they do it in June, I think it is. Oh, you have a vintage sewing machine. Lucky girl. Actually, sometimes they're even better because all they do is straight stitch and zigzag. And basically, when you're quilting, that's all you really need. I don't know why they have all the fandangled other stitches. I haven't ever used them. But this was one from last year. And this is, so and these are free patterns that you can get online at the Fat Quarter Shop. Even now, it's still available as a free pattern. and they would release a different part for us each week, and we would sew that part, and so on and so on. And so this is it. So the kit comes with the fabric that you need, and even the backing fabric. So this is all ready to quilt, and this is what I wanted to quilt on tonight. So it is actually all attached. So here is my batting. It's just an 80-20 batting. So I think that's 80% polyester, 20% something else. I don't even know. So my plan is to start to quilt it. And I wasn't sure how I wanted to quilt it at first. But now I think I have a plan. So I'm going to move this laptop out the way a second. Got to move my station around. And I'm going to see, she says laughingly, if I can move this camera down a bit so you can see what I'm going to do right here on my table. Let's just see. Does your daughter quilt, Selena? I don't even know if this is going to work. Oh, it might. Well, kind of, maybe. This way, that way. It'll give you an idea. So this is a friction pen. How can you have no room in a new house for a machine? Gosh, my son, we were talking about getting a little place down in Nova Scotia, and I said to him, well, it has to have 2 bedrooms. And he said, well, no one's going to come, Mom, to see you. We're here. And I said, it's not for that. I need a craft room. And he's like, well, what if you can't get it? So I said, well, I'm not having it then. It's got to have a craft room. So anyway, so this is a friction pen, and it writes on fabric, and it irons off. So that's good. So when you do, the first time you do a, there is a fly down here, honest to God, get away from me. Your very first line, you need to write on the first line, and then you would sew that first line, and then you will use the guide to, yeah, everybody needs a craft room, right, Frankie? I don't even understand where he was coming from with that. So my thought was, as you can see, there are distinct blocks, kind of. So I thought I would just do diagonal lines going one way within those blocks, and then the second row is a bit smaller. This is a thinner row. So I'm going to do the same thing but go the opposite way. And then the last set of blocks here will go back to the original. So that's, and I'm not going to bother with the border. I'm just going to leave that. So I'm just going to do within this first border here, and I'm just going to do my first straight line, which is always scary when your ruler isn't as long as you want it to be, and I don't have another. I could put a bunch of them together. Maybe I could do that. Oh, this might work. Oh, this will work. Oh, I'm so clever. So I want to set this up so that this will be like this. And then this, no, where does this block start? This block is here. So yeah, I need to go there. Okay, so let's see before I start doing this. They bought what they could afford with as many other features they could get. Yeah. Oh, they're building a granny flat. And then she'll have a studio. Oh, that's a great idea. I keep telling my son that's what he needs to do. He needs to build a granny flat with a spare room for my craft stuff. Okay, so I am gonna now, I probably should have used the white one. Might have to go back over it with a white one. I tell you, house prices, oh, it did work. Okay, you can't see that, good. House prices are ridiculous right now. I don't know what they're like. Now I'm gonna have to move you again. Sewing machine. Yeah, house prices are horrendous right now. And it's not even so much the house prices, it's the interest for the mortgage. I don't even know how the hell half these young kids can afford them. Mandy's here. Yeah, I probably could free motion that. When did you sneak in? I really could. I could free motion that lilacs down. You mean down that one border, like down, all down here? Yeah, I probably could. I probably could. I'll have to see what it looks like by the time I'm finished with these things. Okay, so now I have to take, can you see my sewing machine? Is the next burning question. I move it down like that. Is that better? Let's turn it on. Okay, so we do not want Jack the unpicker. He's going over there. Yeah, like my son both my sons have had houses for a while, I'm lucky to say. But the one of them just had to renew his interest. I think that's what you call it. And interest his mortgage. And Brenda! Hello, darling. How are ya? Brenda's here. Brenda is my friend. She lives in the next village. And she is, we're going shopping soon. Let's just say that. For fabric. She's my bad influence. So he has to renew his mortgage. And I guess the interest rate, like, I think it almost doubled from when they originally bought the house. So, yeah, Brenda gets me into all these things. So one thing that we both love is we both love mysteries. Of course, we love fabric. We love knitting. And I have to remind me before I go, I've put this in the drawer. Because when I come to change my thing, I'll forget what I did with it. It's in the drawer. And so we joined this thing called Flash Fiction Mystery Quilt. And it's so cute. I'll sew one up next time with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But it comes out and you sign up for the year, or you can pay monthly, but typically it lasts a year. And each month you get a story, a chapter of a story that this lady has written. I think her name is Linda. Linda something. Oh, yeah. Mandy's in the UK and all her children are due to renew their mortgages. It's like being back in the 80s. It really is. Yeah, right. Yeah, it really is like that. I remember when we bought our very first house, I think our mortgage, I think we paid 11% for our, and so that would have been in the long time ago. But anyway, so this mystery thing, it comes out, and once a month you get a chapter to read. You get some puzzles to actually solve, kind of like word searches or picture puzzle things, and you can win prizes if you get the puzzle right. And then there's a quilt block to make, which has something to do with the story. And the one we are both working on right now, but of course we both signed up for the new one, which starts in August. But the one that we're doing now is called Around the Kitchen Table. And the central block is the kitchen table. Remember them old Formica red and white tables? That's what it is. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm putting this on. So I'm putting on my walking foot. So yeah, she gets me into all those fun things. And they're fun. And then we talk to each other about whether we've done them. And I can't get this on right now. Whether we've done them, how we're doing on it. And it is really fun. The trouble, there we go, when you get older, there we go, is you can't see very good. And I have like rubbish twisting right now. My thumb has arthritis and I have a really hard time twisting these bolts on. I wish there was an easier way to do it. Or they just snapped in or something, but this will take me a few minutes. Chat amongst yourselves. So yeah, I'll leave some links to that flash fiction in case you girls want to try it. And the other fun thing that you can do if you're new to quilting, and I have a code you can use for that too, so you get 20% off, I think. I'll put it below. And then the other fun thing if you're new to quilting is it's called cotton cuts. Oh, Brenda does that too with me. And that is where each month you get fabric sent to you, just like that one I showed you earlier, each month in the mail, but it's pre-cut. So you don't have to cut, you don't have to fiddle with it. It's really good. I know I do. I know. I'll do it now. I keep forgetting. My brother bought me this calendar. I was thrilled to bits with it because, of course, my favourite team is Liverpool. Oh, this is very, oh my goodness. Look at Alexander Arnold. He was such a kid there. He's one of my favourite players, though sometimes I have to yell at him because he has the best eye for passing a ball way back in defense. I think they put him in midfield now, but way back, and he could get it right up to the front, right on the guy's foot. I don't even know how he did it. He's absolutely brilliant. So this was Liverpool demolished Barcelona in sensational comeback. Oh, there you go. Stoke, come on. Okay, what do I do with the pin? Oh, obviously my favorite team is Liverpool. Let me just stick that back up. Ow, my finger. And I watch football every Saturday in the like the season, because it's not on right now. I watch it every Saturday or Sunday, depending on when we play. And I also am a big fan of F1, and I watched that this morning. We had 2 practices this morning, so I watched that a lot too. And I love baseball. My brother's trying to get me into cricket because the Ashes are on right now. And I do like cricket, actually. I just can't remember all the rules for it. Cricket's very much like baseball, and I love baseball, so yeah. I'll probably get back into that. I love watching sports. I'm just a bit weird that way. I just do. I used to love hockey a lot. And of course, both my boys played. My husband played because he's Canadian. And, you know, my boys grew up here in Canada, so they had skates on at 3. And so they both played, and we did all kinds of traveling around. And so did Brenda's son, too. He was a really good hockey player. And he's older than my boys, though. But once hockey finished... Yeah, that's true. You did have Stanley Matthews and Gordon Banks. Gordon Banks is a fabulous goalie. Oh, I remember him. Like, as I grew up, he was the goalie to be. He was the man. Oh, and Selena's not into sports. That's okay. Not everybody has to be, right? I've just always been a sports fanatic. And I used to do a lot of sports growing up. I was on the netball team, and I was on what we call field hockey. No, you call no, wait a minute. How's it work? We called it hockey. You call it field hockey in North America and Canada. But in England, that was what our hockey was. It was just, but it played on a field. And it was mostly school kids. It wasn't really, I don't ever remember adult leagues. But I got kicked out of that, though, because I think I hit somebody with the stick. As you do. As you do. It's probably an accident. It was a long time ago. I don't remember. But I've always liked sports, really, you know, and mysteries. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is put underneath my walking foot, and I'm going to try to follow that line I just drew on. First of all, now the majority, the bulk of it, let me move my cup of tea. The bulk of it is over here. If I've gone off topic at all and I was telling you something and I forgot, you'll have to remind me because I don't remember half the time. So I'm going to put that there and drop that. So the majority of the fabric is on this side, so it's not going to be heavy, but I will have to deal with this little bit here. So I'm just going to fold it a little bit so it will just gently go underneath the, what do we call that thing, the neck? I don't know. And I want my stitch length to be big, so I'm going to put it at 3.5. Roll it up. Yeah, that's what I think I'll do. I'm just rolling it gently on this one side. I used to have some things you could clip on it. And you're supposed to put gloves on. Where's that clippy thing I had? Oh, here we go. Ow. And these are supposed to help it stay rolled. There's one. I think I had, oh, there's another one. So, but I've got to be careful because I'm coming to the edge here. So it's not going to be all the way rolled up. But I'll just do these two for now. Aren't they handy little things? All right, and then I'm just sitting it gently on my lap. So, oh, I better put these on. So these are gloves that you wear. I'm supposed to help you with your moving thing. Throat, that's what it's called, yes. Okay, Frankie watches hockey and American football. Yeah, I actually kind of like American football too. But to be honest with you, I only really like it when it's the Super Bowl, when it's the big one at the end, because I kind of feel like it means more, you know, and then it gets exciting and you've got to, that's a good one. Brenda says, yes, it's called the throat. And Mandy says, quilting gloves may help your arthritis. Oh, do you think? Oh. Actually, you know, that you say that, it actually feels better the minute I put these gloves on. Because it's just in my one thumb. It's and this finger, but this finger's not too bad today. But it's just in this thumb. It's kind of annoying. And Selena watches lots of YouTube of patchwork quilters. Oh, I'm going to have to check that out too. Okay, so I've got this up here. And I'm going to pop my needle down. And then this is something I know you're all supposed to do with the grip. You're supposed to, I forget how you do this, bring up, okay, move this and bring up the other bit. Whoa, she did it. And that is going to keep our back better. And then we go back and put this back in the right spot again, like that. And then I'm just going to go up and down to lock that stitch in. Now I'm going to try and stay on this straight line. Wish me luck. And I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to put my sewing machine on dead slow. I think that's too slow, don't you? I feel like it's not even moving. Okay. They say it's a walking foot, so you're meant to actually walk it. Okay, but that's too slow. Come on. Okay, that's a bit better. We're jogging. We're jogging now. So I'm following this line. It's still slow. But you want it to be slow because you want to make sure that your stitches are all even. Look how little they were there when I was going slow. Oh, yeah. Okay, Mandy says, I think can fly. Eleanor Burns with Quilt in a Day is my favorite. Oh, I'm going to check that out. Quilt in a Day. Okay. Oh, this is just so slow. I'm not really sure it's meant to be this slow. I'm going to go faster. Okay, we're running now. We're jogging. Yeah, I finished this a year ago. And then, okay, we have another. Hello from the UK, Crafty Lindy. Hey, how are you? It's so nice to have you join us. 12:45 a.m. here. Oh, I work a late shift on Saturday, so I've been home since 11 p.m. Wow. Yeah, I'm originally from the UK, and I actually talked to my dad today. I talk to him every Friday, and of course, we have to do it after his supper. And when I used to work, because I'm retired now, when I used to work, I couldn't talk to him till my time, 5 o'clock, but that was his time, 10 o'clock. And it was late for him. But now I'm retired. I can talk to him at his time, 7, so it's 2 o'clock my time. And yeah, he's 90, my dad, 90. He's doing really good for 90. I feel like this needle is in the wrong spot. So I'm going to change it when I get to the end. It should be in the middle, and it's not. So it's kind of putting me off a bit because it's not in the right spot. Oh, this is still super slow. So where are you guys now? I think, where did you say you're in Sheffield, Mandy? I forget already. And then we get to this end, and I'm gonna do a couple more. Oh, actually, somebody told me Wilms, oh, Cheshire. Wilmslow. I've never heard of that place. However, I did live in Heswell, in the Wirral, which is close to Cheshire. So somebody told me when you're coming to the end of this thing here, Brenda, are you listening? When you come to the end of your quilting thing, to make your stitches super tiny, and that way, when you cut the thread, they won't come undone. So I'm going to go down to 1. And then go back up to 3.5. Okay, let's get this up and see how we did. What did I do with my scissors? Oh, let's get the little snippy snips. All right, let's have a look and see. Oh, not bad. So now what I'm going to do, so that went straight up the middle. So now I'm going to go on either side of that line. And do I want to go an inch, or do I want to go, Yeah, that's a good tip, isn't it, eh, Brenda? I thought so anyway. Because I learned that on my last quilt that I'm doing, the Nova Scotia one. It's a lot of, I had to pull back some of my edges a little bit. Anyway, doesn't look nice, even the front or the back, where you've started a thing. This way, I think it will look pretty good. And then this one where we pulled up, we will tie this off now. In fact, I'll do it now. Oh, and that's why I cut these off on my gloves, because I couldn't grip anything. So when I'm at this point here where I want to do my little tie off, I can grip it and do it. Yeah, there we go. Now I can give this a snip. Always losing them. There. Okay, let me read some of the things. So, so we said Mandy is in Wilmslow and South Cheshire, although I have a Stokey accent. Oh, okay, that's right. You were from there, yeah. And you're in South Cheshire now. And isn't that funny? We're all Northerners. And I'm from Hereford originally, so everyone adores my accent's the best. Typically, I have a Scouse accent, but I don't use it because, number one, my husband doesn't understand me. And when I talk to my dad, it just automatically comes back. And I have one friend that lives here who's also from Liverpool. And when I talk to her, it comes back. And even when I'm listening to Linda Simpson, and I answer out loud as you do, when she's asking a question, I answer it in Scouse too. So it's kind of weird. Brenda says, I have to hand sew the binding on mine, and we'll add a sleeve to put a curtain rod through. Show me how you do that, because I don't know how to do sleeves, and I find that to be very faffy. And I just like to put mine up with on clips and hang them, because doing that extra step of a sleeve to me is like, but I'd like to know how you do it and how you feel about it when you've finished it. And Mandy says, I like to sew a binding with a flange. Then all of it is done on the machine. With a flange. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all here, because I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to check that one out on YouTube afterwards. And I sew my binding on one side and flip it, and then I hand sew at the other side. Is a flange that thing that makes it fold over? Is that what a flange is? I think that may be what it is. And, oh, there you go. Lindy says that Wilmslow is just 12 miles from Linda Simpson. I love her so much. She's awesome. I can't wait till she comes back. I miss her. Okay, so now I need to decide if I am going to put this under. Let's get it under. And I have to figure out which side. So I must be going to be going this way, because I need to put this in. And I want this to be on this side of me. Let me pop that in. Okay, and now and I wanted to change that needle there, so it's in the middle. So how far do I want to go? Do I want to do it an inch? What's an inch, or an inch and a half? What do you think, an inch or an inch and a half for a flange? It adds texture to quilting. Oh, then I have no idea what a flange is. I'm definitely looking that up. How do you know that, Brenda? It's so pretty. They are tutorials by Jenny Doan, or there is one called Susie's Magic Binding. I think I've seen that one. Oh, a flange is decorative. Oh, I think I've seen that one with Susie's Magic Binding. But it's, so I think I'll do an inch. So I put my ruler. Yeah, I like Get It Done quilts, and my sewing room are too. Now, I've never seen the sewing room one, but I'll definitely check that one out. I love watching YouTube videos. Oh. Brenda said 1.5. Mandy says, okay, 1.5 it is then. So, which makes it much easier. So, because this ruler is 1.5. So I'm just putting it under where my needle would go down. And then I'm moving this little bar to where it ends. There. So now we put this on this line there, but I have to bring it back to there and pop it down. Okay, I'm going to try that trick again where we do little stitches. Okay, and now I'm going to go back up to 3.5. And we're all set. Oh, let me answer some questions first. Selena's addicted. It's not very hard to get addicted to YouTube. And Get It Done Quilt. I love Get It Done Quilts. And, oh, you also love English paper piecing. Now, especially with Hexies. I tried that. Let me show you. I think it's over here. I put them in this little tin because it was like a hexagon. Not really, but you know what I mean. Quality Street. Who does not love Quality Street? That's as far as I ever got. Last year I did, I think Brenda did too, we're as bad as each other, what do you call that thing? Advent quilting box. And this was one of the things. It was a package of the papers, and then it was a packet of these 2.5 mini things. And so I did this one, and I really kind of enjoyed it because I cross stitch, so I like hand stitching. And I really enjoyed gluing these on and getting them organized. But that's as far as I got. I only did one because I don't know what to do with it. What do you make them into? So it's just sat in my tin since last January. And I'll get to it. But Selena, if you have any ideas, tell me below what I could make with that. Lindy says she watches YouTube too much. Great to sit and craft along with podcasts. I know, that's what I liked. And that's why I wanted to do a live. Because you get to I get to talk to people. When I just do it as a podcast and I'm recording it at home and all that, yeah, I can do fancy stuff with it. Put pictures in and add videos. But it's boring because you're just talking to yourself. And then you have to hear yourself editing it 1,000 times. And it's like, this is much easier. And then I get to talk to you guys, and get feedback, which is the best part for me. So I've got to figure out, I do have StreamYards, which I can use, which will help highlight some of the questions and answers and comments. I don't know how to do it on YouTube. I think you can, but I just don't know. So Mandy says, yes, Selena, just about to sew a cushion cover with Hexies. Oh, a cushion. I could do that, couldn't I? Mandy did the same. Excuse the Quality Street did. Do you know what? When I first, I have sewn my entire life. Usually it's dresses, outfits, made the boys all stuff to wear, tracksuits. Before tracksuits got so cheap, you didn't have to, before sewing was not expensive. And it's still up there somewhere. I actually have a bigger Quality Street tin. That's where all the needles and the cotton and the thread and the buttons and everything has lived in for, I think the tin is probably an antique now because I've been in this country 40 years and it was probably a Christmas present from my husband because he knows how much I love Quality Street, or my dad could have sent it. I wonder if they have the dates on the tins. So yeah, but I always use the Quality Street tin for my sewing. And Crafty Linda says, I've just gotten into stitching. Oh, I'm falling down the rabbit hole, I think. I've been cross-stitching and want to try some slow stitching quilting and hand sewing. Slow stitch quilting. Is that when you do it all by hand? That'd be nice. I actually quilted another quilt. It's upstairs hanging on my wall. It's a Halloween one. I don't know why I don't really, Halloween is okay. I'd rather have Christmas. But for some reason, I seem to have a lot of Halloween things, like quilts and stuff. I don't know why. Um, but I hand stitched, hand quilted that one all together. I pieced it on the sewing machine, but I then hand quilted it. And I had a template, plastic template, which I drew around with the markable pen thing. And then I hand stitched on it. And it's a very interesting because I liked it in that I could make my stitches bigger and it went faster. But it didn't go fast enough, if you know what I mean. It took a long time to quilt it. Like I could only do like one row or like of this fancy thing, one whole row a night because it hurt my hand after a while. But yeah. And Mandy says I watch your YouTube more than TV. I know, I watch YouTube more than TV too. Because my husband works nights a lot of the times, so I'm on my own. So I put it on for company. I love to see what other people are doing, what they're making. I always try to find a live to watch. I don't even care what it is, just so that I can watch it. One of the things I have been watching, court TV live. Have you ever seen those? Oh my goodness. So I was watching one of those yesterday. That was ridiculous. Yeah. And Selena said I splurged on a cushion kit from the last homely house with some very expensive fabrics, but it was cheaper than trying to put it together myself. Oh. Oh, you mean putting the fabric together or trying to come up with scraps to put it together? I always do that too. This is why I buy the kits of these, the Halloween ones, because if I don't have enough Halloween fabric, it's not something I collect normally, and I don't have enough of it to actually come up with colors, and I'm just really not good at that. I don't have the color sense, so I prefer everybody tell me, this is what colors you need, go get these colors, because otherwise I can't do it. And kits are even better. Slow stitching is hand stitching, Brenda says. Yeah, okay, I thought that's what it was. And then Mandy says, yes, I have just hand quilted a baby quilt. Now that would be nice. That would go quicker. That definitely would. And Lindy says, yes, all by hand, just a little projects to start using stash, get away fly, fabric I already have. Nice, that's really good. You girls will have to go and join my Tobyknits and Friends Facebook group. It's a private group. You have to be asked to let in, but I'll let you in because I know you now. And show me put your pictures in there so I get to see them because that's a lot of fun. And Mandy says she buys her kits from Liberty Bell, based in Norwich, Cheshire. Northwich, Cheshire. I've heard of that store, actually, Liberty. And Selena says, I love the last homely house with Kate. She loves Kay Fassett. Does she also knits, doesn't she? Because I'm pretty sure I've watched the last homely house. No, I know who you're talking about. I'm thinking of somebody else. Yes, I have watched some of her videos too. They're very nice. Yes, they are. Okay, what am I doing now? See, I'm getting all confused. Okay, so I'm trying to sew. What fell on the floor? Oh, the thing came off. All right, well, we'll have to. Okay, so I've got that there. I've got that down. I'm on 3.5. So now I am following the line I just stitched to get another straight line. I didn't know that she had kits, though, the last homely house lady. I think I'm thinking of Homespun House as the knitting lady. Yeah, last homely house is the what's the name, lady? My grandmother used to have quilting bees. You know what? Brenda and I are in a quilting guild, and we're going on a retreat soon. Oh, well, it's October, but to me that feels like it's soon. And but I would love to do a quilting bee. I'd love to be able to sit around a big loom, I think that's what they call them, or quilt stand or whatever it is, and hand stitch with a bunch of women. That would be so nice. Like you're going back in time. Okay, so let's see. Oh, all hand quilted. Well, they did. That's all they did back then, Frankie. They didn't have sewing machines, couldn't afford them. So everything, even pieced together, was hand quilted, was hand stitched together. Silly. I got sidetracked all the time. Oh, do you? Good. I just blame it on my age now. If my husband, I'll be talking to him about something, and I'll get stop talking about that for a second, and then, or he'll interrupt me, and then he'll say, "What were you saying?" I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I forget. Yeah, and I like the idea of kits too, Frankie. They're good. Okay, so Lindy says she has a second channel now. Yes, the garden one. I don't watch that though. And Mandy says calf fabrics are beautiful, but I tend to like a primitive look. So you would like, what do they call those quilts that you use with that like primitive look? It's got a name. Can't think of it. Fly, would you go away? Free Spirit is good. I did one of my last quilts that I gave to my dad was with Free Spirit fabric, and it was beautiful. It was a cotton cuts one actually, so that was nice. And Lindy says that's lovely, Selena. I think to sit and slow down with a bit of hand stitching is so mindful. I totally agree with you, and that's what knitting does for me. It makes me slow down. Or cross stitch, any of those two, where you're just literally sitting and slowing down. We are going to the trailer tomorrow for the weekend. We have a trailer, a little caravan, as you might call it. It's just little, but it's beautiful. It's by the water, and I've been working really hard this week on dyeing yarn, because I dye yarn, which I sell on my Etsy shop. And I'm designing a knitting pattern right now for socks. I've actually already done one, which is out for testers, and I'm designing a second one for Halloween, again with the Halloween. And I need a break from it. I'm loving doing it, but it's like I need a little break from that. And I just want to go to the trailer and read. I don't want to take any knitting with me. I might take some cross stitch, because that's totally different. I should probably start getting my Christmas ones back out. I didn't finish last year. Because I'm coming to the end now, so I'm going to switch down to the little stitches. There. Pull that needle up and go. Oh, I might as well leave it on the little stitches. So let's just see how that straight line went or didn't. Ooh. Oh yes, that's much nicer. And see, when I go slow, my stitches are definitely, can you see that? There's stitches. So there's the lined one that I drew on, and now that's the only one, and that will get ironed off. And then the other stitches were done. So that's good. So now I just keep putting this underneath. Oh, sorry, covered you all up. And but how long have I been on here for? Oh, over an hour now. Okay, so let's answer a few more questions, and I think after that I should go, because I don't want to be on too long and keep you guys all up. You should be in bed. You should be in bed. Or you Brits and you Aussies, you should be in bed now. Okay, let's see. So, Selena said it is. I had to get other handcrafts to do beside my knitting as it was hurting my hands. And that's true. And I think that's where my arthritis comes from, all the knitting, because I've knit since I was a kid. My nan, who I lived next door to growing up in Liverpool, she taught me how to knit. And I then taught myself to cross stitch. And in the last 2 years since the pandemic, oh, maybe it's been 3. When did the pandemic start? That's when I started quilting. So I'm really new to quilting compared to the other stuff I do. And I crochet too, but crochet really hurts my thumb. I'm not, which is funny because it's this thumb that hurts, but I crochet with this hand. But I think it's the way I hold the fabric. And it's the same, that's why this hurts, because it's where I hold my needle. I put my thumb and I use it to push the stitches. And when I'm crocheting, I'm holding the fabric. And I think it's the pressure I put on that. But, and yeah. And Mandy says, I do different crafts each day, Selena, because my hand and neck hurt. See, that's it. And I used to do that. Each day I used to do a different craft, and I would have them, if you watched any of my other YouTubes, you'll know I used to put them in the diary, and I'd put like Mondays was cross stitch, Tuesday was knitting, Wednesday was quilting, Thursday was crochet, and I'd keep doing that, and I'd list the project. And then each week I'd get a little bit further finishing a project. But I don't do that now. I've done mostly knitting for the last couple of weeks. So, because I'm obsessed right now with socks. Brenda says, our quilt guild did documentation of old quilts. It was really interesting to see the old quilts and how they were made. There were a lot done by hand. Yeah. And Selena said, it's a practice I'm new at. Have so many knitting projects to finish, which is what killed my hands. I know, I'm the same. You have to just do a little bit a day. Somebody said to me, another podcaster I follow, do any of you guys watch Ellie Jones of Craft House Magic? I love her. I've done a lot of her knitting patterns too. And she also quilts, I think, too. I think she does English paper piecing. But she was saying to do 20 minutes a day. So if you still want to get back into your knitting, just do 20 minutes of one project each day. There can be different projects, but just do 20 minutes, and then that will help you just keep going and not stop completely. Because literally I stopped cross stitching about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I just stopped, and I've got so many to do, it's ridiculous. And Lindy says, one of my favorite podcasts to watch is called Socher and Lilac. It's about slow living and, of course, crafting. I'm going to check that one out. I've never heard of that one. And 10 a.m. here in Queensland. That is Queensland, right? QLD, Queensland. Oh, it's only in the morning for you. Yes, of course. In England, it's night. Yeah, it's really hard work getting all the time zones right. And Selena says she watches her too. Some brilliant knitting she does. Okay, I'm going to check her out. Well, girls, I'm going to go because my tea is cold. I managed to do 2 lines of my quilt because I've been talking too much. And I do need to go and finish up a sock. And I think I'm going to have a bath. Nice soak in the tub. Yeah, and then tomorrow, like I said, we're heading up to the trailer for the weekend. So I got to get my clothes ready. And I will be back Monday night because we'll be home from the trailer by then. I'll be back Monday night to do my knitting live. So I would love it if you can join us. Get a cup of tea with you. Bring your knitting if you have any. Bring your English paper piecing. And, oh, you want me to say, okay, I have to think for a minute. All right, I'm going to go now, all right? Because I'm getting awful tired now, you know, because it's been an awful long day. So I'm going to go now, and I'll talk to you all later, all right? Ta-ra, love. Ta-ra. There you go. Okay, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye. Oh, I got to turn it off here.